Okay, I think we can get started. I thank you all so much for tuning in. I'm really excited to be doing this. I know, like Jody, Sebastian, and I we've been talking for a couple of months now. It's like, what's the backup plan for doing the show or not doing the show if the lockdown continues? And so this is the result of we brainstormed, and yeah, so this is it. So yeah, I actually have a couple of points to make, but I think Jody and Sebastian, if you want to introduce yourselves.
Okay, I'll go. My name is Jody Shelton. I'm the producer of JJ's Records, and I also play the piano and guitar and a bunch of instruments and sing backup. I'm the guy who pushes the button.
And I'm the guy who plucks the strings. So that's all I do, pretty much. So Jody does everything else. I play the guitar. My name's Sebastian Noelle. Where's the camera? I guess I should look at it. So yeah, and sing some background once in a while, but other than that, it's just guitar.
Yeah, I think this album. So the first album we did, Sebastian, we brought you in at the very last minute to sort of replace all of my guitar tracks with yours. But I think this album, we kind of brought you in from the very beginning, and so I think overall it's become a lot more collaborative process. I think, which I like a lot, and yeah.
Especially now, right? Since we're just doing this all remotely, right? We're just moving tracks, emailing each other the tracks, and everybody's doing their work at home. I feel like it's all different dynamic. It's more, like you said, more collaborative because we have to make our own decisions, Whereas before, when we did it in the studio with the last album, you were there and you could say, like, on the spot, or Jody could say, like, let's do this, let's do that. So now we're, kind of making these decisions all on our own.
That's true. But I think it works though, because, we have experience working with each other from the first album. So I think, I certainly trust you guys. And, later on we'll listen to one of the songs. I debated whether or not to give sort of any sort of direction or notes before you guys put on the instrument tracks. And I decided not to, just to see what comes of it, how you guys interpret it. And I have to say, I was just blown away. So it's my favorite song.
Well, thank you. Well, it kind of is, I've been writing with other people, in my musical theater work and comedy work for years and years. I've got one co-writer in Chicago, one that's in LA. I've got one that was living in Edinburgh in Scotland. So I'm so used to just sort of volleying ideas back and forth. And that's what we've been doing the past couple of months. And I've been excited to see that it's actually working,
Yeah. Yeah.
Most of the
time. Most of the time. Wait, is it not working? What? You have something to say? What?
No, I have nothing to say. No, but JJ, we should tell people that these are not final versions, that these are works in progress.
Yeah. That's true. So what's going on is, so we have 6 songs. I would say, kind of complete in terms of what the song structure is and what it sounds like in general. I think we just have some more mixing, maybe more vocal layers or something. Maybe a couple of songs, a little more instrumentation. But I think it's gotten to a really good shape. But still, these are works in progress. So all the songs you'll hear today are works in progress. So, and don't get judgy. Not that you guys will. Especially my vocals. That all of them need to be redone.
Well, let's explain. Let's kind of give a little peek behind the curtain to the people. So what we do typically when we're recording is we do what we call scratch. So at the beginning, you'll have the scratch piano, the scratch guitar, and especially the scratch vocal, which is not the final vocal. It's the first sort of work through It's just there so that Sebastian and I can do our work around what the lead vocal will eventually be. But then the very last thing that happens before mixing and mastering is JJ will re-record her lead vocal. So all these vocals you're going to hear, especially the lead vocals, are all scratch tracks, meaning they will be replaced a couple of months before we go to do the final master.
Sorry, somebody's having trouble getting on, so I have to message them really quick. So if you guys want to keep talking.
Oh, Emily Newhouse said, musical theater, ears perk up. Yes, we'll see if theater actually is a thing that exists anymore. But yes, if you're a New Yorker or maybe you saw it on tour, I wrote the show called 50 Shades, the musical. That's the thing I'm probably best known for on that front.
Yay.
All right.
Yeah. So both Jody and Sebastian are accomplished musicians, and so those of you who don't know them, they have a whole musical career outside of what we did together. This is just like one tiny little piece of what they actually make a living doing music. I don't. Sorry, I'm a little distracted. Hold on.
Yeah, I think Jody, what you said, you don't know what this is going to be like when this is over, whether it's going to come back at all. And every other musician on Facebook, has their opinion and asking that same question for music too. And I think, I have no doubt it's going to come back, and people that want to do this and have to do this because that's what they do, they're going to keep doing it, and it's going to be stronger, and it's going to be we're all going to have more to say, we're going to have more reason to make music, and we're going to have a deeper appreciation because we know what it feels like to have to go without it for such a long time. So I'm kind of on that side. I'm it's definitely going to come back. There's going to be great music, great musical theater too, I'm sure. Financially is a different question. People sometimes, depends on what your priorities are. Some people are worried about the financial. So yeah, that's another story. So that's probably going to be rough, But if you for myself, I can just say, I just have to play. I just have to, there's nothing else that I can see myself doing. So I'm going to be making music, and I have a lot of friends, I think, who are going to be on the same page. So it's going to come back. No doubt.
I hope you're right. I really hope you're right.
Well, one silver lining, and this is a good segue, is that I actually have a patron, you guys. A friend of mine has made or will make a donation toward the making of this album. So the album will be partially funded by this I'll say their generosity. They want it to be anonymous. I'm not even going to say what gender.
Okay.
That's amazing. That's great.
That's
great.
Yeah. So, hey, I have a patron, and I also have a sponsor. A friend of mine, my first sponsor. So a friend of mine is involved in this organization, in this company. Hold on a second. What's the name? Sorry. I should have had it in my notes. Shoot. Okay, I can't find it. You know what? I'll post it after the show. I'll post it in the thing. But
hi Chantel, how are you? That's Chantel. We know Chantel.
Yes. Chantel has been great, and I have to say a couple of thanks to Chantel and Tanya, Scott Benjamin, and yeah. So I was doing a few like promo videos. So Tanya and Scott, they helped me do one of them, and I did another promo video with you guys. And Chantal has been great. She just she just posted so many things tagging me for this event. So thank you guys so much. Okay, so I think that's enough talk. What do you think? Should we play the first song?
Absolutely.
Okay, Here we go.
We should.
So what I did was I also put the lyrics out there so you guys can follow along, and all the photos that you see, these are photos that I took. So these are everything.
Where is that? What is that? Is that a beach or?
I can't remember.
East River?
No, I don't think it's in New York. I think it was a photo that I took during my travels. Okay, here we go. So the first song is called Tell Me. It also has another name, So Far So Long. Some of my songs have two names, two titles. And this song I wrote in 2018. Oh, wait. So, okay, sorry. Before I play, I do have to talk about the album a little bit. So it's a concept album. I didn't realize that that's what I was doing until Jody actually said, "Oh, yeah, you're making a concept album." I'm like, "Oh, that's so cool." So the concept is it's a conversation between me and God. And so some of the songs are written from my perspective. Some of the songs are written from his perspective, God's perspective. And, we're, talking to each other. And it somewhat loosely sort of maps also our relationship, my relationship with God. So I have not written all the songs yet. So today you'll hear 6 songs. I have one song sort of we're still tinkering with, and 5 more songs that are in the concept stage that have not been written yet. So once it's all complete, yeah, it'll be good. So Tell Me will be the first song on the album. Okay, I will play this. Tell me, where do I go from here? Tell me, where do I go from here? The road has been so far, so long. Tell me, what do I need to know? Tell me, what do I need to know? I've been in the dark so far, so long. Tell me, how do I sing that song? Tell me, how do I sing this song? I've heard you sing it before, so far, so long. Tell me, when will I see you again? Tell me, when will I see you again? I have been waiting so far, so long. me why I am the way I am. I have been searching so far, so long, and I'll keep searching so far, so long. Okay. Yeah. So, wow, the sun's really coming in here. um, I would say in terms of production, this is the furthest along, only because we started this early. So everything you're hearing was actually recorded at Jody's studio.
So this is from before the
Yeah.
the lockdown.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's right. Right. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Everything, we didn't do any of that stuff.
No, everything was done
Okay.
before the lockdown. It was actually done last year, everything. I think maybe Sebastian, I think you came in December and you did the did the guitar tracks. And I would say, Jody, as far as scratch vocals go, this isn't bad at all.
No, it's good. It's good.
You know, which like every time I listen to this song and the songs that we're currently working on remotely, and I have like really bad equipment right now. You know, this mic is good for like talking, but it's really not good for singing. And so I have to get proper equipment. But whenever I like listen to them in contrast, and I'm like, you know what I remember? You saying, even if it's scratch vocals, do it well, do it, give it your best, because you never know if that's, you know, that's the best take that you got.
Well, you know, it's the kind of thing where you're going to listen to that vocal again and again and again and again and again as we work. So you want to like it, you know, you don't want to be like, it's terrible. So yeah. So we're getting comments from Emily and Liz and Tiffany and Chantel. Thank you very much, you guys. Appreciate the comments.
I think, Jody, I should just have you host this. And I'll just be the guest.
Just acknowledge our guests. Just know, thank you very much, guys.
Yes,
we that's a really fun one because it's the blues and we get to, you know, lay back, and Sebastian gets to really rip on that one, which I love to hear. So
I know, me too. By the way, I don't know if you guys know, but you know, the guitar is my favorite instrument. Not that because I play it well, but because I just love the sound of the guitar. And so as I try to allow for guitar solos whenever I can in my songs, just to hear Sebastian play.
Yeah, I love the bluesy tunes. You know, that's just you know, guitar territory, all that blues stuff you do. You know, you have a couple of those, right? You have like 2 or 3 blues on this one, so it's, you know, it's always fun to solo on those, you know, on those blues tunes, because that's what, you know, about every guitarist starts with that. That's like the first thing they do. So it's
really
a special place in my heart. Yeah, of course. You know, it's like, you know, the blues, like Robert Johnson and all that. You know, I mean, even Jimi Hendrix, all that stuff. That's what the guitar. You know, you learn the pentatonic. That's the first thing you learn, and then, you know, that's it. That's all you need for the rest of your life. And you just
yeah, absolutely. JJ, Catherine has a question. She asks how we met.
So Jody and I met. I'm gonna say 2010 or 11. No, 2010. So Jody was the musical director of a musical improv theater called Baby Wants Candy. They also gave classes, and I took one of the classes. And so that's how I met him. And then in the course of the class, I think you were still performing, Jody, your own stuff.
If it was 2010 that I was producing my first record as a producer, which was my own record. So I was getting my start as a producer when I was teaching your improv class. And then we started working together shortly there, right around the time my first production came out.
Yeah. And I think when your album came out, you kind of like announced it in the class and that you were doing a show or something like that. Something about it. And that's when I learned that you also wrote your own music. And so right around that time was by that time I had written, I don't know, a bunch of songs. And also had a bunch of songs that were sort of like, even back then, as inexperienced as I was, like I had the sense like, the song has potential, but it's not quite there yet, and I don't know how to get it there. So like I knew like I needed some sort of, someone to like bounce ideas off, someone to work with me. And so I approached you, I think probably after the class was over. And then I played a few songs, and I liked what you had to say too, because like, you know, we scheduled some time, we met, and I played you some songs and asked you about it, and also asked you like if you would work with me, and that's kind of how we started working together.
Thanks.
So Emily,
yeah,
Emily says she knows Baby Wants Candy. Yeah.
Yay!
Emily, I worked with Emily. I worked with Baby Wants Candy from early 1998 until 2013. So 15 years. Well, where does she live?
Emily?
JJ?
Emily?
Yeah.
Emily, I don't know. Emily, she's in New York. I don't know what borough. Maybe Manhattan. Oh, Brooklyn, probably, right? I don't know. You guys are all in Brooklyn.
Somebody likes your voice, Jody.
Oh, thanks, Tiffany.
You're gonna get a voiceover job.
Wait.
Right.
Jody has a great speaking voice. Oh, Tiffany Jones. Oh my gosh, Tiffany is a friend from high school.
Thanks, Tiffany.
Oh my gosh. Wait. Okay, Catherine, were you using it for music? Did it inspire you to do music? Catherine, your question is to who?
I don't know.
Okay. All right, Catherine, if you want to clarify your question, you asked, were you using it for music or did it inspire you to do music? So if you want to clarify that question, that would be great.
Is she talking about your improv class, maybe?
Oh.
I don't know.
Oh, my improv.
Oh, improv.
Yes. Yeah. No, I was taking improv because I was really interested in it. So I started taking improv in 2009. It was People's Improv Theater. Level 0 is what I started with. And at the time I was looking for something. I was believe it or not, you guys, I have stage fright. In fact, earlier today, about an hour ago, I was texting Jody and Sebastian, telling them like I was freaking out, because I'm not an extrovert. I don't necessarily like to be in front of people performing and all that stuff. So it's kind of ironic. But anyway, so I've always struggled with stage fright. And at that time I was struggling, especially for some reason. And so I needed something. And rather than taking like, your conventional, like, public speaking class, which I had done in the past, I thought I would sort of take a different approach. And so I looked into improv classes and I found level 0, fell in love with it, and took it all the way to level 5. And a lot of people who are on this in the audience today, I met through improv, including Jody. And so the improv really didn't affect my music necessarily. My music I started writing in 2003. And so it was something, that I have been doing. Yeah. So, okay. Should we move on to the next song?
Let's do it.
Yes.
Okay. Oh, by the way, if you guys have questions, please put in the comments and we'll do our best to answer all of them. And you could address your questions not only to me, but to Jody and Sebastian as well. Okay, next song. Sorry. Some may say God is dead. Others may shake their head. Masses may follow blindly ahead, or they walk away instead. How do I begin to understand who He is and all that He has planned? If I call, will He really give me His hand and lift me up so I can stand? You are love, so you say. How lovingly made us out of clay. How you long in your heart for us to stay, even though you knew we would betray. How do I begin to understand who you are and all that you have planned? If I call, will you really give me your hand and lift me up so I can stand? Is it true? Is it true that you came, took the blame, that you come, take me home? Is it true? How do I begin to understand who you are and all that you have planned? If I call, will you really give me your hand and lift me up so I can stand?
The choir sounded pretty good.
Yeah, who is that? Is that you and JJ?
I believe that's three. I believe it's 18 of us, so it'll be 9 of me and 9 of JJ.
Ooh. Oh yeah? Oh, okay. Oh,
it.
I'm in there too. No.
Or is it all me?
I think
so
it's
far?
all you because no, except for the "Is It True" part. "Is It True"? I think I recorded that, and then after I recorded the "Is It True" harmonies, and that's something I sort of did on my own as I was recording it. So this is the vocals for this song. Actually, we did it remotely, and so it was done after the lockdown. And so while I was playing around, so it was like a new toy that I discovered is recording at home using GarageBand. And I was like, ooh, this is fun. I could do this and I could experiment with that. And so I experimented with different harmonies and stuff. And then after I was done, then Jody, I went to you and I said, hey, I think this song could use more harmony in like other parts. If you could come up with something, that'd be great. And so another thing that Jody does is he writes, I would say almost all of the harmonies. And then he has to teach it to me and then I have to sing it.
Well, luckily for you, it's one of my favorite things to do. So So what we do, I mean, this is to answer your question. Thank you guys very much in the comments, Chantel. Thank you. And then Catherine says, does JJ, do you have music videos? Well, I don't know. Are you going to do music videos? Because Catherine, these are still very early versions. We're not quite done yet.
Yeah, that's a good question. Maybe, I don't know. The only song that I thought of maybe doing a music video of is the my rendition of Arirang, which is a Korean folk song. So last year, at one of our shows, I wanted to do something special for the encore, and I realized like, hey, I'm Korean, but I don't actually sing any Korean songs. What's up with that? So so I took Arirang, which is a very old traditional Korean folk song, and they're a whole bunch of different versions and renditions of it. And so I kind of researched, found different versions, and sort of did a mashup of that. And so I did my own arrangements and everything. And so we sang that. And then we actually started recording that. And then, you know what? If we have time, I could play that for you. I'm trying to remember where it is, but so as we were recording that, Jody, in the studio, I got into my head like, hey, maybe we should do like a music video of this and have all of you guys and me wearing the traditional Korean outfits.
Ooh, okay. That's the first time I hear that. But, okay, I'll think about it. I'm gonna ask my image consultant.
Oh,
no,
yeah,
I'm down. I don't know. Yeah, it's funny that you mentioned that song. I took a class, a workshop, a Korean music workshop today, online about traditional Korean music, court music, and folk music. And the woman who's teaching it, Gamin, is her name. She was playing that song on the piri, which is the
piri is the
double
Korean
reed
flute
instrument. Yes, so some sort of like mix of oboe and reed instrument, and it was beautiful. And I was like, I know that song. It sounds familiar, and it was that song.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Arirang is actually world famous. In fact, like cultural representative, what do they call them? Cultural ambassadors. That go out, that Korea sends out to different countries and stuff, to connect with. That's one of the things, they do is they go and they teach, people in different countries that song. So like if you, look for it on YouTube, there's like a whole bunch of, videos of people singing that song. And there are, a bunch of different versions of it. In fact, I would say that any self-respecting Korean musical artists have their own version of this song, including BTS.
Oh, yeah, of course.
Yeah. So, yeah, it's one of the things I learned as I was researching. But
it's funny, she mentioned that the words don't actually mean anything. They're just words.
No, what does that mean? The words don't mean anything. Of course they mean something.
Arirang, it's just like a poetic.
No, Arirang goge is well, that's, I don't know if it's an actual hill, but that's what it means. Arirang is a name. Goge is this hill or hump or
But it's not like, okay, but it's not a word that means something.
Right, it's not a word, it's a name.
Okay,
yeah.
maybe that's what she meant.
Yeah. But the rest of the song, there's meaning behind those words. And and the song is like so popular and so, I guess, famous, and it's like embedded in the Korean culture. And even if you don't know anything, like you kind of know this song. I think people come out of the womb singing the song. And I think it's the sort of regarded as the unofficial Korean national anthem. We have a Korean national anthem, but the official one, but this is sort of the unofficial one. Thank you guys. I have to acknowledge my viewers. Thank you.
It seemed to like BTS here.
Yeah. Oh yeah, no, Tanya is a huge BTS fan. In fact, okay, so during the Zoom after party, I will be singing a song that you guys will sing along to. And during the bridge portion, I asked Tanya to choreograph a dance. So it's going to be a sing along and dance along time at the Zoom after party. So if you scroll all the way up to the very first comment that's been placed on this live video, you'll see the Zoom after party info, the link, login, and password. And we'll start that as soon as the live thing is over. Had to sing that in high school. Oh, Christine Park. So she's my niece, and she mentioned had to sing that in her high school for chorus. I think she means arirang.
In here in the US or in Korea?
Yeah, in the US, right? Yeah, no, she was born and grew up here.
Oh, okay.
Well, yeah, she went to high school in Palisade Park, in New Jersey. So it's like 50% Korean there. Yeah, it's a huge Korean population in that.
Is that Fort Lee, that area, Palisades?
A little more inward. So beyond west of Fort Lee is Palisade Park, and this one, all right, cool. Okay. Thanks, guys. All right, so let's move on to the next song.
Neighbors.
하지만 그것도 몰랐었네. 방향도 없었고 목적 없이 살았네. 인생이 뭔가 했네. 어느 날 그 음성 내게 들리며 어디서 왔는지 내 가슴 찔렸네. 주위는 고요해지고 마음에 평화가 오고 세상이 밝아졌네. 그 음성 날 부르며 날 찾으러 오셨나. 도망했던 내 마음 한순간 멈춰졌네. 아무리 넘어지고 밀려가도 의심보다 의지가 날 지키네. 하루하루가 새로운 기분이네. 그 음성 따르리라.
So I realized that I forgot to tell you guys. Yeah, the next song is a song written in Korean. So this is actually the first song that I wrote in the Korean language. I think prior to this, I had thought about taking some of my songs that I had already written in English and translating them. And that became too difficult actually, because translations, especially so translating and so that it kind of captures that the poetry and the lyrics um is not something that could easily be done, at least not by me anyway, even though they're my words. So I decided, okay, I think what I need to do is just write the song in Korean. Um, and I did a rough translation in English and I put it up there for you guys who don't speak Korean to kind of follow along and get the gist of the meaning of the song. Oh, Chantel, you're asking what inspired you? What inspired me to write in Korean, or what inspired me to write the song? I'll answer both. What inspired me to write in Korean? I think what happened was last year after I did my own arrangement of Arirang, that kind of spurred me to think like, oh, I think maybe I should um, maybe start writing songs in Korean. I actually used to write some poetry in Korean. So it wasn't like a completely foreign idea. Um, so yeah, so I started doing that. And it's interesting that some of the phrasing in this song, it's actually kind of hard to translate in English too. And ooh, so some yeah, there's some sentiments I think that just for this song, that lended itself really well to be expressed in the Korean language as opposed to English. Um I don't know, it's kind of hard to explain. But yeah. Yeah, I don't know. Do you guys want to add anything?
No, that's still a pretty new song for us. I mean, right now it's just guitar and voice, and we're not even really sure what it's going to become. So that's probably the least developed of the songs they'll hear tonight, which is, hopefully an interesting listening experience for them to hear songs that are a little more developed and then songs that are brand new.
I want that choir in every song now, Jody. 18 Jodys in every song. How's your Korean, Jody?
I don't know. It's not very good.
No, I'll be doing all the but
Yeah.
Actually I did experiment with some harmony for the song. So during the bridge portion I heard like 날 부르며 some kind of angelic kind of voice like in between the phrases. So I heard that in my head and I attempted to do that, but I think it was difficult for Jody to import that into the
Stephanie wants to know if there's going to be a dance remix. Stephanie, I hope so.
dance remix of this song.
Nice.
Absolutely. Let's do it. Dance.
Yes, we'll get BTS.
Yeah, we'll get BTS.
How is this? Oh, Chantal is asking, how is this undeveloped? It's
the arrangement is undeveloped. I mean, it's a new song. So Chantal, usually what we do is we start with a piano or guitar and a voice, and that's all we start with, and then we start to layer the arrangement. So there might be background vocals, and then we add a second guitar, and then we might add some strings. We might have Sebastian play cello. Sometimes it's just a close harmony with just me and JJ singing, or just JJ singing with herself, and then sometimes it's a full choir of 18 or 20 of us singing together. So this is it's undeveloped in the fact that we just haven't gotten to the full arrangement yet. We don't really know what it's gonna. Stephanie says twerk time.
Twerk time.
Absolutely.
Somebody's getting excited. Yeah.
I think Tanya, I think you need to jump in there and create some twerk choreography. Yeah, so that's kind of the gist of the process that we take for each of the song. I think though for this song, my personal opinion is that, kind of simple. I mean, at first my inclination was to just keep it to that one guitar and one voice and that's it. In fact, actually, so Jody, this is a song I actually worked with Sebastian first, and before we brought it to you, because I wrote this and I'm like, I want to know what the guitar sounds like. So I usually do my clunky guitar, and then I went to Sebastian. I'm like, okay, here's my scratch, and the only note that I gave him was, whatever guitar track you put on, think of a little girl frolicking in a meadow. Like I want that sort of feeling, in the guitar. And I think he nailed it. Got it spot on. And like, okay, this is great. I don't want to change. Sometimes like when Sebastian or Jody, lay their instruments, and then usually what happens is I'll listen to it over and over and over and over again to just kind of like get a feel for the song, to figure out like how I'm going to perform my vocal, like what sort of nuances here and there and all that. So by the time I get to lay my vocals, I've heard the song like hundreds of times, maybe, maybe not that many, but close to 100. And what happens for me is like once I hear something for that many times, I get so used to it that any like additional changes that are made, like, oh no, I don't want that. So then I often I have to kind of resist my own resistance and let these guys do their thing, and then I have to listen to it another 100 times to figure out if I like it or not.
That's how it works. I mean,
yeah.
I think that's a good process. It's,
oh my gosh. Okay, Iggy. Yeah, Iggy's like, I totally saw you in full frolic during this song. Yes. So Iggy, you maybe what the song is about actually. So I met Iggy back when I was in. He and I were the same age. We met when we were 20 at church. I went to this retreat. He was one of the Bible study leaders there, and back then I was like totally sort of, I don't know, weird and messed up. I'm still weird, but anyway. So after that retreat, I had to put in I guess a light phrase, like come to Jesus moment. And so this is, your voice. This is, God's voice that I'm hearing. And that in that moment, yeah, I felt like, a little girl, just totally, enraptured. So yeah, so I wanted to sort of capture that the feeling. And so yeah, thanks, Iggy. I will say one thing, if there are any Korean speakers out there. So the Korean title 그 음성, but in the English translation I say your voice. That's technically not correct, but I'm taking some poetic license here. So 그대 음성 is more correctly translated to your voice. 그 음성 is, if you translate it, it would be that voice. But in the song, it actually sounds better to say 그 음성 as opposed to 그대 음성. It's an extra syllable too. So, and this is where sometimes like, I take poetic license, and this is sometimes also when the sound of something and the flow of something sort of overrides, grammatical correctness. Yeah. Okay. All right. Next. We didn't miss any questions, right? No. Okay. Next song.
Was there a time when I did not love you with all that I have in my heart? Was there a a time when I did not know you. I knew your name, I knew your heart, even before you knew yourself. I knew you were mine until the end. Every time you stray from me, my heart races too. Don't you know you belong to me and I to you? I'll fill your heart and make you whole. How many times have you heard me call out to you so tenderly? How many times have you set aside my love? Open your eyes, open your heart. Do you not know how precious you are? A sacrifice, all that is mine for you. Every time you stray from me, my heart breaks in two. Don't you know you belong to me and I to you? Come home, I'll fill your heart and make you whole. Wherever you are, it's not too late for you to turn your life around. It's not too late for you to come back to me. Whatever you've done, all is forgiven. Remember who you are to me. Remember that I'll be waiting for you. Every time you stray from me, my heart breaks in two. Don't you know you belong to me and I to you? I'll fill your heart and make you whole.
Okay, thoughts.
Chantel likes the cello. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Sebastian.
Ooh, yeah. Thank you.
So I learned, I don't know how I came across this information. I learned that Sebastian played the cello at one point in his life. And so when Jody and I were talking about the arrangement for this song, oh, no. Oh, I know. Actually, we had Sebastian come in to do the cello for Arirang.
Ah, that's right.
Right.
Yes.
Yeah.
And then that day I said to you guys, hey, I have this song. It's not really completed, but I have a couple of verses. I'd like to see how it sounds, with the piano and the cello, and I'll play the guitar. So I just wanted to sort of try it out. And so we played it right then and there. And I thought it sounded great. So I'm like, okay, this is how we're going to do it. By the way, all the guitar tracks that you hear, it's not me. It's all Sebastian. So I just want to make that clear. I do play the guitar, but not that well.
Yeah, cello was actually my first instrument. I was a little kid. It was like 6 years old, 7 years old. I hated it.
Really?
A little village in Germany, and I think as a kid, your parents make you do anything, you hate it. So it was, my parents were very strict about the practicing. It was half an hour a day, or so. But then I think I was 11 or 12. Then the cello teacher moved away, and that was it. If you live in the country, it's like the one teacher that teaches that instrument moves away. That's it. You're done. So I thought I was done, and then my parents said, "No, you got to pick something else." So at that point, I was already into Beatles and that stuff. So it was a no-brainer. Pick guitar, and that was it. But now, actually, I have my cello here again, and I'm playing again just for fun. I actually partly because I'm doing these sessions for you. I'm practicing again, and I'm playing some other music. So now I love it, and I'm happy I learned it when I was a kid. But I remember back then it was torture.
So Chantel's asking, where in Germany are you from?
We kind of moved around a lot. I was born in the north, close to Hanover, but it was a really small place, small town. Hoyershausen was the name of the village. It was like 300 people.
Oh, wow.
Then we moved to the south. My Würzburg was I went to high school there. So usually when people ask me, where did you grow up? I say Würzburg. It's in northern Bavaria, because those were my, important years, like high school and northern Bavaria, I would say. Although they don't like to call themselves Bavarians, it's called Franconia. It's its own thing inside its own. It's like if you're like, I don't know.
I've heard of Franconia.
Yeah, Bavaria is big, so there are like different regions within the state, and they're also, it's like, it's not, Germany is pretty small, so you have all these local, regions that have, are very distinctly different. So Franconia.
So Stephanie says 300 people. That's a New York City building.
Yeah, actually, my building has 3,000 people right now.
What?
It's a big building.
Wow.
Yeah, it's actually 2 towers, so each has 1,600. But yeah, that's true. It's funny to think.
So your building is bigger than your town.
5 times, 5 times the people that wow. Yeah.
Don is asking, how did you end up in New York? He ended up in New York so he could play in my album. No, I'm just kidding.
Oh yeah, JJ flew me over here for the recording. Well, it was it was a long journey. I got into jazz in my early 20s, and late teens really, and then I did my undergrad in Germany, studied music, and then I wanted to study more jazz, and then I got a scholarship to study in Boston, and then I went to Boston, and then I guess I wasn't ready to go back, and New York was so close, and kind of, it's every musician's dream to move to New York, and that's how that happened. So I'm still here. I never. It was kind of from year to year. I got my visa, and at some point I got a green card. So it's just, the short answer is it's the music scene, mostly the jazz scene in New York that keeps me here, and that really, mostly, of course, JJ, but then also the jazz scene.
Yeah, actually, in a conversation we were having, among the three of us, we learned that both Jody and Sebastian, they both studied music in Boston, and they were both there around the same time. I think you guys maybe overlapped a little bit.
That's right. Yeah, I remember.
So they probably, bumped into each other, but it took me to bring them together.
Yeah. Boston is like a hub for music and for college. So many of my friends went to school there and then moved to New York. It's kind of a thing. It's like, very common to go to school in Boston, study music, Berkeley or college, and then move to New York.
Yeah. So, oh, hold on a second.
It's kind of dark in here. Hold on.
Yeah. So, Sebastian, if your cello teacher did not move away, you might have grown up playing the cello professionally, not the guitar, which means that I would have had no use for you.
Well, as a cello player, you would have just
That's right. I would have converted all of my songs to cello. Yes.
There would be a lot more cello and more virtuoso cello on your recording. All the blues solos would be cello solos.
Sebastian, Chantel must know Berkeley. You went to Berkeley too, right?
Oh, no, actually, I went to New England Conservatory.
That's right. We talked about that.
Which is a smaller school close to Berkeley. So I had a lot of friends there. I was over there a lot playing with people. But where I went to NEC. Cool.
So Catherine's asking, I don't know to whom, will you be doing more now that you're set up at home? I guess she's asking you, Sebastian, because you're the one who was talking.
Well, I thought she's asking if we're doing more recordings.
Oh, yeah.
Or
Jody has a home studio. So Jody, you'll work from home all the time. I've never recorded from home until this lockdown happened. And now that, and once I get the proper equipment and get myself set up, I think I will probably do more recording at home and maybe do more sort of experimentation. Oh, all of you together. Okay, thanks. Yeah, so these guys are stuck with me. I'm not looking for another producer. I'm not looking for another guitarist. They're it. So if they ever retire, they're gonna have to keep me on as a client. Just sorry, guys.
No plans of retiring anytime soon.
Yeah. So we'll continue to. I just need to write more songs for my album, and then. So once I've written those songs, we'll be recording them. But even if it's not songs for the album, I have other songs that I had written, or I write others, and so we'll be tinkering with them here and there, whatever.
Yeah, we'll be doing more, I'm sure. Mm-hmm. I mean, we're not on a timeline. You're not on a right. It's not like you have to have this album out by a certain date or anything.
Have to. No.
But yeah, no, I'm sure you'll keep writing music and we'll keep playing. So there'll be more. And we haven't even listened to the whole, to all the tracks we recorded yet, right?
Yeah, no, we haven't. There's still,
2 more.
So, and this album is kind of interesting. So the first album, the way that came about it was basically just a compilation of songs that I had written over a course of like 14, 15 years. So it wasn't any particular sort of intention to group them all together necessarily. So I think the way we chose the song was basically like we chose basically the best songs out of the bunch. What would sound good, sort of compiled together, and also what stage in terms of completeness. Like, there are some songs that I will tinker with over years and years and years and never feel complete. And then there are some songs where I'll finish in just one sitting, basically, and it's done. And then everything else, somewhere in between. So, so that's how so the second album, it's really different for me, at least, because I set out to write this album, with this theme, with this concept. And so from a songwriter's perspective, it's a very different kind of process for me. And I think the biggest challenge maybe is writer's block. Because prior songs, it's like whenever I'm inspired, I write and that's it. This one, because I'm trying to conform it to a specific concept, that it's not that sort of I don't know how to, yeah. But I mean, you guys get what I'm talking about. Yeah, cool. Okay, next.
Give me your heart, I'll keep it close through the highs and lows, from all your roads. Give me your heart, I will be kind. Here you will find your peace of mind. Come rest your heart from all your weary days. Gray skies and foggy haze. Your tender heart is like a seed I sow. I'll nurture with care, see it grow. Whoa. Give me your heart, don't be alarmed. Away from a heart, snuggle in my arms. Give me your heart, and rest assured, safe and secure, where love endures. Come rest your heart from all your weary days. Gray skies and foggy haze. Your tender heart is like a seed I sow. I'll nurture with care, see it grow. Oh. Come taste the wine and love's divine. Drink the sunshine, your heart next to mine.
So that cough you heard towards the end, that's my brother coughing in the background while I was trying to lay these vocal tracks. You can't. So I basically have to redo them once this lockdown is over. Jody, I'm coming over to your first thing.
Yay!
This song is actually technically not a new song. I wrote this song back in 2009. Actually, so two songs you're hearing today were written way back when. So the first one that was written before was Some May Say God is dead. Da, da, da. So Jody, I don't know if you recall, but this is one of the 4 songs that we actually recorded back in 2011 for my EP. The EP that we recorded that I never released. And so, but it didn't quite fit into the overall theme of the first album that we released. So we sort of set it aside. But it fits perfectly to the theme of this album. So I decided to include it along with this song that we just heard. This also sort of fits with the theme. So I did decide to include them. But all the other songs are brand new songs. The oldest one was written in 2018. That was Tell Me. Everything else was written in 2019, or a bunch of them, like 2 or 3 of them, were written actually this year. So yeah. All right, we're not. Kai was just singing along. He loves that one. Oh, thank you, Chantel. So Kai is what, like 5 years old or something? Chantel's son, and apparently he was singing along with this one. Oh,
That's sweet.
Okay, let's see. Let's go on to the next one.
We're on the last one, right?
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, we're at the last song. Okay, so this song, I actually kind of want to talk about it a little bit. So, what I came up with a chorus first, for this next song that you're gonna hear, and that's all I had at that moment. And I'm like, I don't know what the rest of the songs should sound like, but I had that chorus, so I brought that over to Jody. I'm like, okay, this is all I have. And so he said, okay, well, let's record it. So we just recorded the chorus over and over and over, with some instruments, with my, crappy guitar playing, and I don't know what other instruments you put in there, maybe some drums or something. You put in something there, but not, I don't think we put in piano. But anyway, so I took that home and I listened to the chorus over and over and over and over again. And at one point, it kind of clicked as to what the rest of the song should sound like. And so that's kind of how this song came together. So it's interesting. Like sometimes I'll have a full song written and I'll bring it to Jody, and there's, no significant changes, other than arrangement. It's just the song is what it is, and that's it. But then there's some songs where even as we're recording, I'll make changes sometimes. So I don't consider a song done until it's actually released, like out into the world.
And speaking of vocals, this song is a choir of all 3 of us, right?
The next one. Oh yeah,
the next
Rain on
one.
Me. Yep.
Yes. Yeah. Next one.
Yes.
Sebastian sings. Actually, you know what? We did another demo recording of a duet, and where it's just me and Sebastian singing. Yeah. If we have time, yeah, we could listen to that one too, because I think that's interesting, because Sebastian don't typically sing on my songs, but this one he sings in the duet demo. But anyway, all right, cool. With that, I give you. Oh, hold on. Okay.
She cries for her children. sends her tears up to heaven. God takes her tears, every single one, pours them down unto me. Rain on me, rain on me, let my mama's prayer rain on me. From where unbeknownst to me, what grace befell me. God who loved despite myself shows me his hands and side. Rain on me, rain on me, let my mama's prayer rain on me. I have walked in night and darkness. I have known pain and peace. God will see deep into my soul, waits patiently for my heart. Rain on me, rain on me, let my mama's prayer rain on me. Rain on me, rain on me, let my mama's prayer rain on me. Rain on me, rain on me, let my mama's prayer rain on me. Rain on me, rain on me, let
Cool.
Oh wow! So you didn't fade out the guitar at the end. The guitar
No,
Mm.
we did that
left one standing.
intentionally.
Interesting.
So
Like the choir exits the room and it's just Sebastian in a room.
yeah. So we have a couple of questions. So why don't you typically sing, Sebastian?
Oh, me? Yeah. I love singing. I mean, I used to sing a lot when I was a kid. grew up. I had 4 siblings, and we sang a lot in our family. But then I focused on the guitar, and it was just so much work that I couldn't really. And I, now I'm getting into cello. It's just I don't have the time, and I think, I mean, it's also that in this case now, Jody just has the more trained voice, so of course he's going to sing, and then how often do we really need a third voice? And but I love singing. I love doing it more. I would love to do it more. I never took singing lessons. Now I'm learning tabla too. So there's so much. There's so much stuff I want to do and want to learn, and I just don't get to do it that much.
So it's a funny story. So when we were doing the first album and the album release show, it never occurred to us, me and Jody, that you wanted to sing. Actually, I may have asked you at that time if you wanted to sing, but I think you said no, or I don't know. But anyway, it wasn't until last year when we were rehearsing, you were singing along to the songs during rehearsal. And then I asked you, oh, do you want to sing at the show? And then you were kind of hesitant. And then Jody said, he thought I was pushing you too hard, but I kind of felt like you wanted to, but you didn't want to say yes. I don't know. But then at the show you did. You sang along.
No, I love singing. It's just, singing and playing the guitar at the same time is not something I ever practiced, and it's something you just need to do for a while. So I remember at that show I did sing along, but without a mic or something, right? Is that right?
We didn't mic you. Yeah, because I think you said you'll sing along if whenever you can, but you didn't want to be mic'd.
Yeah. No, I love singing. It's just the only thing is playing and singing at the same time. It's sometimes it screws me up, and it's something I need to practice. It's just another skill that. But yeah, I love it. Yeah. I'm especially now if we do it separately on the recordings, I don't have to play at the same time. Yeah. And it's it's not a problem.
So for this song, I think that in the choruses, like Jody, I still want more voices.
Wow. Okay.
Well, okay. I think the original idea was like to have like a lot of voices, not just, multiple tracks of our voice, but just like as many different voices. So I'm going to put it out there for us to maybe implement when the lockdown is over, and we can figure out how to do this safely in terms of, health wise, that if you guys are interested in being one of the backup vocals for the chorus of this song, hit me up and we'll figure it out. We'll figure it out somehow.
Great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know. Jody's looking at me like, what the fuck?
I mean, hey, let's do it.
Yeah. So this is the song where I felt like I didn't want to give these guys any notes. Like, I want you guys to sort of do your own interpretation musically. And when I got it back, I was like, so Sebastian, I don't know if you remember, in the first album, there was one song, you play the guitar, The Setting Sun. And when I listened to it the following morning, I cried because it was so beautiful. So this song, when I listened to it the following day, I got chills down my spine.
That's great.
Yeah.
We're getting lots of comments. People are like, yeah, let's do it. Catherine's like, I hope we got auto-tune. Yes, we will auto-tune.
Oh my gosh.
Crazy. So JJ, I have to actually get off to another call at 8:30, but
okay.
If you need anything else from me, thank you guys for hanging out with us for a little bit and everything.
Yeah, it was fun.
Well,
we got through the whole album too, right?
Yeah, we got through all the songs. So Jody, if you need to jump, go ahead. I just want to tell everyone about the after party. So
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Good to see you guys.
All right.
Thanks,
Take care,
Jody.
Jody.
Thanks. See you later.
See ya.
Okay, so you guys, if you wanna hop on to Zoom for the after party, I have the link and the password. If you scroll all the way up to the top of the comments of this live stream, you'll find it there, and we'll be doing a sing-along song. So what I'll do is I'll share my screen. I'll share the lyrics and stuff, and then I'll be singing and playing my guitar live. And you guys will sing along in the parts. Well, you can sing along in the entire song, but there are specific parts that I want you guys to sing along to. And as a bonus, my friend Tanya, she put together a choreography for the bridge section, so you'll also see a video of her dancing. So if you guys want to dance along, that'd be great. The only thing is, so when you get on Zoom, make sure you're not singing into the mic of whatever device you're using. Because if everybody's singing, so you want to take maybe a couple steps back and let the ambient mic pick up the ambient sound and otherwise it will sound very jumbled over Zoom. But
Jody, put that link in there one more time. I don't think it's there anymore.
Oh, okay. Yeah, you just called me Jody.
oh yeah.
That's okay.
Got the first letter right. It's funny. I have a friend, and his name is JJ, and he's a guy, and I also know a woman whose name is Jody. So you both have confusing names. I mean, beautiful names, very beautiful names, but
I know JJ is typically a guy's name and Jody is typically a girl's name. Yeah, right. That is true. But we're not typical.
No, you aren't. And I'm glad you aren't.
But anyway, okay. So yeah, thanks everyone. That's it in terms of the songs we wanted to share. I'm so grateful. Wait, somebody said okay, Sebastian.
Yeah, all right. You can call me Sebastian from now on.
That's okay.
It's only fair.
So thank you guys so much for coming. It meant so much. This was my first Facebook Live event, and I loved that you guys were here to share this moment. And
Joe, I was going to say it again, but got myself. JJ, at some point, we will have those songs ready for them to listen to, right? To the public. Are you planning on putting it on a streaming platform, or how do you?
Yeah, so I do have Bandcamp. So I have SoundCloud and I have Bandcamp where I can post my music to. So my Bandcamp account, I have not finished setting it up. I don't know why. I'm dragging my feet on that one. But I think once the songs are sort of ready for the public ears, I think I will, put it on SoundCloud. So I'm still debating whether or not to release the songs one at a time, or wait until all the songs are done and then release it as an album. So what I might do is release it one at a time, because I still have not finished writing the album. So what I might do is release it one at a time as they get done. So which means Tell Me will probably get released first because it's most further along. And then once all the songs are written, then compile it and release it again as a full album. So I may do that. Yeah.
Yeah, that's a great idea. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So little plug, please follow me on Facebook, Instagram. I'm also on Twitter, but I don't really use it, but I'm there. I have 8 followers. So Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. I'm also on SoundCloud, so you could find me there. My handle for everything, all my social media accounts, is JJKO Music. So it's JJKO and the word music. So if you just, look for me like that, you'll find it. And Sebastian, do you want to plug anything that you're doing?
Well, obviously I'm not playing right now, so I don't have anything. Well, I have music out, so you can find me under my name, SebastianNoelle.com. It's mostly instrumental music. I'm on all the, if you just put my name into Apple Music or whatever, Spotify, YouTube, you'll find a whole bunch of stuff with me as a sideman, but also my own music is on there. So if you're interested in checking that out, it's very different than JJ's music, but
yes,
yeah. And I'm on all those social media platforms too. If you're interested and want to be in touch, that'd be great.
I forgot to mention that I'm also I don't just work with Sebastian and Jody. I'm also their fan. I have all of their albums. In fact, I have them on some of my playlists. So yeah, great stuff. Yeah. So thank you everyone so much for coming.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Thanks.
I'll see you guys on Zoom.
Great to see you. All right.
Bye.
Bye, JJ. Take care.
Okay. End broadcast.